Everybody, welcome to GeekStorm. I am Sean Hilton, and today I'm joined by my ever awesome, lovely... I'm joined by Michael Allen Harrison, fresh back from a short vacation to see your son's wedding.
I sure did.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
on
much.
Getting your eldest son that you know of married off and out the doors.
Yes.
Anything fun and exciting there?
They're on a cruise somewhere. You know, they're enjoying hopefully not pirate infested or stormy waters, but everything went great. Everything real good. Good time.
And they're still young enough to enjoy it, but they're old enough to enjoy it, but not old enough to actually, be a part of that crowd yet, I'd say.
They're 24 years old. They have no idea what they're doing. Let's not. Just because you get married doesn't mean you're an adult for sure. At 24, I had no idea what I was doing. Otherwise, I still would have married that particular woman. It's not like it's a rite of passage. It is a rite of passage. It's not like it's a automatic stamp. You're an adult now. You get to adult things.
I was actually going with the fact that 24-year-olds going on a cruise just seems odd to me because I always, in my mind, I picture that's old people.
Oh, right.
And so when they go to like Puerto Vallarta or whatever they're going to, they're actually young enough to be like, party! And they can have fun, whereas the other people are like, hip replacement, I'm going to sit right here. So, so they might be the odd couple out on this. That'll be fun. So, congratulations on that. Have you done anything remarkably geeky this week?
As always, I watched a lot of TV. I worked on, we're getting closer to both Kokomo Con, which has the costume contest, and Halloween. So I've been ramping up the costume making duties, and done that. That's geeky.
You have all your fingers. I don't see any bandages or horrible cuts.
No.
Things are going well for you this Halloween costume building construction.
It's been so far
season.
so good. So good. Hey, you had a birthday, didn't you?
Yes.
How old are you?
I believe I'm 45.
That's a milestone. I've got you this. I didn't get you anything.
I actually have to do the math.
45 is a milestone.
I'm pretty sure I'm 45. So
Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Like 90% sure.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, buddy.
Sure.
That was awful nice of you. I'm glad you came out to the party.
It was the absolute. It was the absolute least I could do.
It is. It's what we do for birthdays. So, lots going on this week. First off, though, we have had a series of deaths. We'll just touch on them very quickly because it makes our hearts sad. A week or two ago, Harry Dean Stanton, I believe, died.
Very sad.
I believe that's his name. I know he died. Particularly well-known roles for me, Alien. Loved him in Alien.
Sure.
He plays the maintenance kind of quiet, curmudgeon-y guy.
Sure.
I enjoyed him a lot in that. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the last thing I saw him in, isn't he the gentleman that Mark Ruffalo comes across in the Avengers when he falls through?
That was originally Stan Lee's role, and then they realized that he probably shouldn't be having that many lines, that much screen time, because he's not an actor. He's certainly a bombastic personality. I'm sure he's got a SAG card. Okay. So when they realized he shouldn't be doing that, they brought in Harry Dean Stanton, another old curmudgeon-y type guy.
He's
actor, he's a legend.
He's done, his IMDb would scroll.
Sure.
It would just scroll. So sorry to see him pass away, but he got to live his life. It wasn't a short affair.
Right.
So, sorry.
Yeah.
Next up for us in the comic book world, much more meaningful death, and this happened about a month or so ago, but for whatever reason, we just never touched on it here. Lin Wein died, or Lin Wein. Honestly, I followed his work since I was, learning to read.
Right.
And I've never got a chance to actually. I've seen him from afar at shows, but never went to meet him, and so I don't honestly know. I'd have to look it up. Is it Lin Wein? It's Wein, I believe.
I think it's Wein.
Wein. I've always pronounced it Larry Wein. So you're like, oh, who's Larry Wein? Larry Wein created for DC Comics.
Lin.
I always met Lin. He created the Swamp Thing, which not only was kind of a game changer for DC back in the day, taking some of their horror titles and continuing on long after the horror comic craze had died, but also spun him off into 2 movies, I don't know about popular, but a TV show that went at least a season or 2.
Sure.
So a character that got to the big screen a lot faster than some much more well-known characters. Then on the other side, he then went over to Marvel, where I believe he was editor-in-chief for a while, but more importantly, he created everybody's favorite Canadian mutant, Wolverine, and also then turned around as the X-Men were failing, had been on hiatus for a long time, had been reprinting its books for a couple of years, turns around and creates the most popular franchise that Marvel has ever had with the Uncanny X-Men. Chris Claremont seems to get maybe some undeserved love, and the fact that a lot of people, he had an amazing run with the X-Men, assumed that he was the creator and the guy who kind of righted the ship, when in fact it was Len Wein who created all of the characters that we are in love with, like, you know, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Storm, Wolverine, and so he was instrumental in bringing that together. He passed away.
Sad.
And last but not least, and probably the one that has affected pop culture in the most significant manner, Mr. Hugh Hefner, the Hef.
Sad.
Now, I believe that you probably know more about Mr. Hefner's life than I do, so...
and probably didn't know that much until just recently, but I think maybe a month or so ago I started watching, there's a series on, I believe it's Amazon, about Hef, and it starts from the beginning, him as a young man, family guy, and it's cool in that it is part scripted with actors and part interviews also, so it goes back and forth. But very open and about his successes and failures. And I only saw a couple episodes because I only had access to the Amazon for a little bit. But it was interesting in that, and I'm sure he had something to do with the production of it. So yeah, he came out looking pretty good on it when actually they flipped the switch. But he was instrumental. I won't say instrumental. He was at the forefront of a lot of the political issues at the time.
Yes, he was.
Just as much as he wanted to, show boobies to the world, he had his TV show, and the networks were like, well, no, you can't bring black people on your TV show. That's not something, and he did it anyway. He had Nat King Cole and a female whose name I can't remember at the time right now, but they were, and what was even cooler about that was it wasn't just him sitting at a table and interviewing somebody. It was the premise of the show was you're at Hef's apartment.
Party.
So these are not only just guests he wants to have, these are people he would invite to his home to have conversations where they just sat around on couches and smoked and talked. That's what the show was. So he was trying to portray to the American people, these aren't just people that I'm bringing on for advertisers' sake, and maybe in some cases against advertisers' wishes, but these are people that I think are cool. You think I'm cool, I think this is cool, I think they're cool, I want us all to be a thing, and so that was big at the time, and he got a lot of pushback on that. So, and Playboy's always been a political, had political slants, it's his platform, so.
I think a lot of people see Playboy as being just this TNA book.
Sure.
Which is, what its reputation has maintained it for so long. But anybody, and I believe in Hef's mind that he was not just portraying pornography.
No.
I believe in his mind, and I believe personally that the magazine was much more significant than that. Now, I never had a subscription to it. I've picked up a handful of issues here and there, but it was filled with not just political commentary, but poignant political commentary. It didn't shy away. It wasn't like, now we're going to have the bunny come out and do the interview. These were like really good, hard-hitting, digging type interviews a lot of the time.
Yes.
Or he would then, even if he was going to just talk to a celebrity, these were going to be more in-depth. These weren't the late-night television with a list of questions you get to read beforehand necessarily. These were usually a little more adult, intense, interesting, in-depth kind of works. And so I think we saw a lot of that kind of stuff come out of that magazine.
Yeah, he was very instrumental in being one of the first magazines to start to want to shape an audience, want to be, this is what the metropolitan male, this is what he does, okay? He has he has his own separate checking account aside from the family account. He has his own. He wears a sports coat instead of just a white shirt. He dresses like this. He smokes this. He very much wanted to shape the American male and give them an alternate to Field and Stream or whatever it was, because like we all know now, I mean, much more back then there was the flyover states, and then there were big cities. Well, this is what big city people do. If you want to bring a little bit of big city to Scranton, all right, this is how we do it, and this is what it looks like to be the successful person. You want to be Hef? This is Hef. This is who I am.
Not only that, but he also gave writers. There's a lot of great fiction. Stephen King did some work in there, as well as several other big name authors. He didn't skimp. This wasn't like some thrown together, trash. This was really well thought out. He brought in high-end, well-known, respected writers, or would dig up younger writers that would then, where somebody, whether it was Hef or somebody purchasing the material, saw in them that talent that was going to eventually reveal itself to the world. So there's some really good stuff in there. And on more of my side of things, Hef from day one was a big proponent of the arts. He was, day one, there was cartoons that were very, not only funny, but well done. Whether it was the actual sex jokes or pun jokes, stylistically. He brought in gentlemen from the comic book industry to occasionally work on these things. It's a very well-known name. So definitely a pioneer in the industry and somebody that helped change and shape the fabric of American society. Unfortunately, towards the time of his death, I believe that the relevancy of his work, the flagship being Playboy, had lost its luster. They had gone to a point where there was no more nudity in the magazine.
Right, and what you're getting at is, and I'm not faulting you for it, is not the magazine's fault itself. No, that's just society.
I'm saying
it's the medium itself.
That he had shaped and changed the way America looks at things.
Yes.
But it got to the point where the country caught up,
right,
and then went even further than what he was used to.
Right.
So
it's like training wheels. You
now
don't need them.
They've actually put back that into the magazine. It was only out for like a year or so.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much longer that the magazine will last now. I don't know that he was actively participating towards the last couple of months or even last year or two. But the truth is a lot of us would know when it comes to magazines, that form of media is kind of taking a huge hit.
I can't tell you the last time I bought a magazine.
I buy one a month or so, but they are all very odd kind of thing. Like, I'm not buying Field and Stream or Playboy. I'm buying like Atlantis Rising, which is new age, weird, just stories and stuff like that. Or I'm going out and buying Alfred Hitchcock Presents because a writer that I like has a story in it. Sure. But these are not because I'm buying the magazine. I'm buying that writer, or I'm buying something related. So sorry to hear Hugh Hefner's passed away. And you know what? You know how good your life has been when the day you die, memes are coming out, and they are celebrating your life and your passing, and they're funny as hell.
Yeah.
The favorite one I've seen two. One was The Onion, and it was just a headline that says, Hugh Hefner, death, foul play expected, cause foreplay. And then the second one, which I just think is great, is a well-done cheapy meme. It's just I will say a Middle Eastern style cleric, doing the whole thing about there are 40 virgins waiting for us on the other side,
right,
and then underneath it is just a picture of Hef in the traditional pajamas and thing goes, you better hurry. So, our overly long ode to Hugh Hefner, but honestly I don't know that the man doesn't deserve it.
No, sure he does.
So
he's iconic.
A lot of stuff going on out there in the rest of the happy, fun geek world.
Sure.
So, see any movies?
I think we're going to go see American Made this afternoon. with Tom Cruise. I'm not a Tom Cruise fan, but
I want to see that.
It's a true-ish story, and it's
true. I think and I agree with what you're saying. I've seen that. It's a true story.
Yeah. It's based on a true story.
Somebody once said the word "of," "because," and the name of a country.
Yeah.
And let's do it.
It looks interesting to me. I like the Narcos series that's on Netflix, and so this is in that vein. And so it'll be interesting. I haven't seen anything recently.
I think it looks to be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. It looks like it'll be entertaining. I have on this show dogged on Tom Cruise, but not in like a personal manner. I don't. Scientology thing aside, him as an actor, he's entertained us for generations now at this point.
Sure.
And his star is starting to get a little tarnished. It's falling a little bit, but Tom Cruise does comedy in a manner that I just don't think most people respect.
Tropic Thunder, he was hilarious.
Oh, he steals that movie so well. Yeah. I love that show.
Yeah.
So at this point, him doing a little comedy mixed with some action is something, and they've definitely figured out that Tom Cruise has got that smile, and that is through every preview and ad I've seen. It's like not only is he doing all this crap, but he's the character is having a blast doing it, and it looks fun.
I hope there's not much action in this movie. I don't want it to be I don't want to see another Tom Cruise action movie.
I'm afraid that they're hiding an action comedy.
I hope not.
In the forms of a comedy or
I can see suspense and landing a plane and all that kind of stuff being tough. I get that, but I don't want to see him hanging on to the outside of the plane, or I don't want to see him jumping off something impossible and something else just happens to land under him so he can land on it. I don't want to see that kind of stuff. That's
all right.
That's Pirates of the Caribbean crap. I don't want to see.
So I did just see the latest version of that. I can tell you.
No, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear about it.
It wasn't good.
That's how little my interest is. You did go see a movie though. What did you go see?
Oh, we went and saw Kingsman.
Oh yeah, was it good?
So the new the Mark Millar film. If you like the first one, I think you're going to like the second one. It is very much in the same vein. Mm-hmm. It is even quirkier.
Oh wow.
Than the first one. Mm-hmm. The idea is basically the biggest drug dealer in the world is played by what is her name? I am horrible at this.
Halle Berry?
No. The replacement for Jodie Foster in the Silence of the Lambs movies.
That would be I know who you're talking about.
Yes, her. So she is the biggest drug dealer in the world. Mm-hmm. She's part of the Golden Circle. Mm-hmm. And basically what they've done is she has tainted all of the product, whether it's marijuana, ecstasy, cocaine, whatever they've made, with something that will infect everybody and slowly begins to affect him and then takes the world hostage.
I see.
And so it's, basically it is summed up as this, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. This Kingsman movie is for the James Bond fan that is younger and doesn't have the attention span to figure out and unravel the depths of a James Bond mystery.
Julianne Moore.
Thank you. Julianne Moore stars in it. And so this is for them. This is for the attention deficit disorder James Bond kind of fans. And honestly, maybe that is also where cinema is going.
Maybe.
I think it did fairly well at theater. She's great. She is wonderful. Julianne Moore does an extremely good job. She's a lot of fun. Halle Berry's wasted in this film. They could have had anybody do it. So is Channing Tatum. Again, and it's almost like Hateful Eight. It's like casting's like, yeah, we can have him for like a week. We got him for a week of filming? Yeah? All right. Let's put him in something and get his shirt off. And I mean, he plays nothing important in the role whatsoever.
My wife loves Channing Tatum. He's the worst actor. Okay, he just is. I've never seen him in anything good. Give me a good Channing Tatum role.
I enjoyed the first 21 Jump Street. I thought it was humorous.
Okay, but that's him playing that man-child where he's dumb. Well, that's who he is, okay? So that's not a stretch.
Just said it. Go ahead. I gave it to you. That's what I like.
All right, go ahead. Okay, so thumbs up for you, okay?
Yeah.
All right, good. What's
was
next?
Was he G.I. Joe?
Yes, he was in one of them.
It was Duke. Yeah, no, that wasn't good. That was it.
Even The Rock couldn't save that one.
No, that ship had sunk. So it was fun. Also, Elton John steals a bit of the show.
Oh, he's in the movie.
He's in the movie, and he steals a couple of scenes. Okay. If you're going to go see one of these two films, I would wait. I mean, the Tom Cruise movie on Netflix is going to happen. Yeah. So I would definitely probably go see Kingsman.
All right.
Just because it's fun and silly. I think it's got humor in it that you would enjoy. There's one guy in there, and his name I don't know. I can't even fake, because I don't know who he is. The entire time I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's like they CGI'd Burt Reynolds to make him look just a little bit younger than when he was the Bandit, or just at that time. Maybe I'm like, did they? So I'm staring at him the entire movie. I'm like, did they take Jeremy Renner and somehow put like a practical piece on his face to make him look? So when it rolls, it was some other actor who I'm completely unfamiliar with. But the entire movie, I'm like, this guy, who is that?
Now I have to know.
It's such an odd. He goes by Whiskey. They all have code names.
Oh,
so
sure.
He's Whiskey.
Whiskey.
He was in Game of Thrones. He was the one
Game of Thrones actor? Go figure. That's why I don't know.
Oh.
the mountain.
Yeah.
Is there a guy that looks like Burt Reynolds in there?
Yeah, he's in Narcos. I can't remember his name either.
If I take nothing away from The Kingsman other than it was a fun time, it's a popcorn muncher movie.
He does look like a young girl.
There's not much depth to it as far as that goes. And if anything, if you're that kind of person that wants to really dig into the meaning and all that.
This is a short attention span theater spy movie.
It does have a bad meaning. Basically, the whole world is hit by these drugs, and this very, very simple, quick antidote fixes the whole thing, and now you're drug-free.
Awesome.
And that's a little silly.
I like to be drug-free.
That's not what I took from it. What I took from it was now I have the ability to have a reboot of Smokey and the Bandit, and this guy could do it, and I would watch it.
He's not going to do that.
I would be so there for that. I'd be excited.
No.
That would be so awesome. So I just don't know who you get to play Snowman now. I'd have to actually stop and think about that.
Anybody can do that.
You know who might be a good snowman? With
Channing Tatum.
Matthew Vaughn. Or not Matthew Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn?
No. Oh, maybe. All right, guy. Matthew McConaughey could be a great snowman.
Sure.
That I would watch.
That'd be awesome.
So, I mean, the dog
Can't wait to
doesn't
see
matter. So, well, at this point, we might as well go full. So, who would Sally Field be?
I don't know. Can we move on?
But I mean, this is. I've got like most of the cast already done.
Great.
So.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I don't know who he is, but
he's been in a lot
got
of
a great
stuff.
look. He's fun.
He's been on 3 seasons of Narco. He was a big character in Game of Thrones.
I'm gonna assume he's dead.
One of the worst deaths. Well, yeah, he's dead. One of the worst deaths ever seen on the show, and he's good.
All right. Well, very cool. So yes, you got that, and then in other movie news, we have finally a release date, or at least a release year for It Part 2, 2019.
Sure, that's a long time.
So it's the end of 2017 now. So actually, no, I mean that's not that long.
All right,
especially if there's not a script.
I want it now.
I assume that the director is going to be the same director.
Yes.
But as far as I know, there's no crew attached. There's no cast. I don't know that there's a script. So to have it come out in 2019, that's going to be tough.
As of this morning, it's the largest grossing horror film of all time.
That's awesome. It probably deserves
over
to be.
$500 million.
You know, for its big budget. It was,
I was telling people were asking me about it yesterday, and I said it's not just true to the to the book and the material, even in the TV show. It's just a really good movie. It's a well-made movie. Anyway, all right.
I could have actually added more time to that movie for just more background. Like, again, there's no real origin for Pennywise given. You're not really sure what he's about.
Yeah.
And then a couple of kids I needed. The new kid that joins the group, I need just a couple more minutes with him. Like, where'd you come from? What's your story in the movie?
Sure.
So I thought that was interesting. Video game news.
Oh,
I know
is there
you're a big video game fan.
Sure.
They've they've put out the first trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2 that looked absolutely amazing. Did you get a chance to play any of the first Red Dead?
No.
It's a Western from Rockstar. So the guys put out GTA, Grand Theft, all that, go now and they do a Western. And this is definitely your spaghetti, Clint Eastwood, gritty, dark Western.
Do you get to shoot a guy?
Huh?
Do you get to shoot a guy?
Oh, you're going to murderize people in a horrific fashion. There's no straight up duel. You're shooting people in the back. I'm sure there's ambushes and sniping and all kinds of craziness. But the ad came out.
So it's a Western free roamer.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's just like all the others. There will be a story that you will follow, but you'll be able to go sandbox. And I never got anywhere in the story of the very first one. I really was me on my horse, just going
shooting
around,
guys, being a horrible person,
exploring stuff. Actually.
Right. What do you call what you want?
I go around exploring, and you know what? If they start it,
right,
then you get a chance to finish it. Except I was so bad at the game, more likely that I was the one getting finished.
Right.
But this is a AAA title from Rockstar. It's going to make probably more money than almost all the films that come out that year.
Wow.
And that's where the video game market is now. It is making so much money, while the box office is taking that hit that we constantly keep bringing up and they're complaining about. The other side is your video game sales are just rocketing. So this is a big budget game. It's going to look really good, I think, and we'll definitely be keeping up on more of that. Now, a lot of television is, boom, it's television time.
Bang.
You're in your prime.
Oh.
You've got to be feeling good.
I've got a spreadsheet.
I wouldn't, you joke, but in my head, I'm like, no, he's probably does.
I'm not joking. I have a spreadsheet. I will show it to you. It's 3 different sheets. It's on Excel. One shows premiere dates. One is sorted by premiere dates. One is sorted by alphabetical, and one is sorted by what day of the week it's on. And here's why. I'll tell you why. Because I can look at the premiere date, say, okay, what comes up next? I need to be looking for this. Then alphabetical. Whoa, where does Walking? I don't know. So I can look that way. But then for days, I'm like, okay, it's Tuesday. All the premieres have come out. It's Tuesday. What do I watch on Tuesdays? Oh, there it is right there. Pow. So I can see anything. It's a list. I got it. Pow.
Is there a program that can help you?
Yeah, it's called a TV program.
What did you do for the last 3 months?
What do you mean?
He compiled his list for the last 3 months.
I caught up on crappy shows I didn't watch last season. Speaking of which, Gotham, and I know where you're going. I know where you're going on television. I just want to hit really quickly.
No, dude, television is you.
Okay, Gotham. I did not watch. Let's say the last 5 episodes of last season. Okay,
I have not watched the last several seasons.
People are saying that those were the good ones, so maybe I'll go back and catch them. I watched the premiere of this season. And this season, Bruce is going to be in a mask, and he's going to be turning into a young Batman. Yeah, exactly. Okay, but here's where you lost me, and I will skip this entire season now.
Wow,
okay?
One episode.
Here's the premise.
Holy cow.
Here's the premise.
All right, I'm listening.
Penguin controls all crime in Gotham City.
Makes sense within the show.
He goes to the mayor and the chief of police and says,
The Penguin does.
yes,
Okay.
I'm going to cut crime by 50%.
Because I control it all.
I'll unionize it. No crimes will be committed without a license to commit crime that I will give out. But if your guys catch somebody doing something and they show you that license, you got to let them go. And Jim Gordon, of course, is not on board with this. He goes and grabs a guy who's robbing a place and he takes him in. Every single cop in his precinct, including Bullock, who's the acting commissioner.
Sure. Still. Oh no, Bullock. All right. No.
Yeah. Acting commissioner. Admonishes him, hey, you gotta roll along with the program here. We're not supposed to arrest these guys that have the license to crime. We're not supposed to arrest them. And I turned it off.
That is ludicrous.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
In the sense that we're creating the universe of Gotham and Batman.
Right.
There's nobody that does that.
Right.
One, the government steps in. The actual Fed steps in and goes, no, the president.
And I'm supposed to believe there's only one good cop on the entire.
Wow. Yeah, that is. That show was jumping some sharks early on anyway, but that's just silly.
I'm done. Done with it.
Holy cow. I've not watched it since somewhere in the middle of the crazy dude who was getting other crazy dudes to
Mad
follow
Hatter?
him. I was out before that even
Okay.
then. They were bringing in the chick who's not going to be Harley Quinn. They just killed off the guy that wasn't going to be the Joker.
Yeah.
And it's like the show is just playing with people. It's like, you know
Playing
what?
with my emotions.
They don't have the rights to use these characters. They can't call them these names. But when I was watching, they were definitely taking that Barbara character and getting her closer and closer to making you think that she was going to be like a Harley Quinn character.
Right.
When in fact, they don't have the rights to even do that. So I don't buy it. I think DC's got to control that property a little better. I'll be surprised if this gets another season. In fact, I'm a little surprised it got to this season at this point.
Fox doesn't have a lot of heavy hitters though, so if that gets decent ratings, it'll be around.
That just tells you that it's better to have a crappy show on a horrible network than to have a decent show on a great network.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right, what else you got?
We only have 3 minutes. I don't know if you want to jump into anything else big or not.
Whatever you want to talk about, man. I had 2 comics I'm not going to talk about now. So, again.
Next time we need to start off with your comics. That way you can get them in because you never.
This one's a biggie, but it's okay.
Why don't you go and do it?
No. I want to talk about television premiering. So we're sold out of that anyway. So it's not
okay, you're upset about.
We're gonna talk about that next time.
Oh, I just said I was letting you off the hook.
Because it'll take me 3 minutes to just bitch about that. So let's talk about the show.
The actual show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll bitch about the other stuff later.
Okay. Star Trek.
Star Trek Discovery.
Yes, premiered and I saw both episodes.
I did too.
Okay.
I made sure that last night because of you, I went.
Oh, that's nice.
But my complaint with the other thing just got much longer because of it.
Okay, so you got 2 episodes, and many of the Star Trek premieres do that. They break it up into a movie, into 2 episodes. That's fine, whatever. I'm a passable Star Trek fan. I'm not a huge Star Trek fan. I like it, and but I have seen every episode of all the series.
Pretty good Star Trek fan, though.
Okay, but I drudged through DS9. It's really awful. I hated DS9.
I've only watched the first season of DS9.
Unfortunately, it's 24 episodes and it's 7 seasons, so it was a really long dredge. Anyway, but I digress. I was excited to see it. I liked it enough to watch a little more because it's in the genre. You know, it's Star Trek. People are going to be talking about it, and I like it enough to watch it. Gotham, on the other hand, is completely different. Yeah, it's in the same genre, but I don't like it at all, so I'm not going to follow it anymore. My biggest problems were how modern it looked. If you're going to put something that's pre-original series, why does it look like it should be the newest movie? I thought it was beautiful, but I think that's misplaced as far as the look of the show. The uniforms, at first I did not like the uniforms. I thought, oh, what is this? It looks like a Love Boat 1970s. Somebody's trying to make, this is what the future is going to look like. But then somebody pointed out that in the original pilot with Pike, they had the gold piping and all that. Okay, that's fine. That's just me not liking it, not thinking, that's not me saying it won't fit. So apparently that part fits in. I didn't like how modern it looked. I hated the Klingons, not because they looked different than any other Klingon we've seen before, okay? They've explained it away with there's 24 different houses, and that's how they have done the different Klingon looks over the years in different series. Fine. These Klingons were like the worst looking, it's like, okay, there's an actor's eyes in there, but everything else is just prosthetic. It's all prosthetic. How is that actor gonna emote? Okay, I couldn't understand his speech, even with the subtitles. I thought, okay, if they do subtitles all the time, how am I going to feel anything about what he's saying? Because not only do I have to read it, which is me putting my emotions into it, but he can't emote at all. He can't change his face. He can't do anything other than all you see his eyes through the makeup. That was a horrible decision. They can look different, but man, it was just so over the top makeup that I didn't like that at all, and that was disappointing to me. Other than that, I'll watch it. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was watchable.
First up, two episodes. Mm-hmm. Sticks with the tradition, as you said. They've done that with several of them before, but it's time to move beyond that tradition. That was a waste because it wasn't 2 episodes; it was a prequel. Anything that happened in this was just setting up the series.
Right.
The ship that we're on for these 2 episodes isn't even the Discovery,
correct,
which is what this is about.
Right.
So this was a prequel little thing to get you started. If anybody should have contacted IMAX about doing their premiere, it shouldn't have been Inhumans. It should have been this. They should have labeled it as the prequel that's going to set up the whole series. They should have done it for free. They should have done it bigger, badder, grander. They should have made a spectacle of this. You know, you got Michelle Yeoh as a guest star in this. She is amazing. Mm-hmm. Her part in this is amazing. It was really well done. Mm-hmm. But all of it's wasted as far as I'm concerned. Because yes, you told me a good story, but what was the point when you were going to just do what was going to happen? Spoiler, this ship is going to be pretty much destroyed. Mm-hmm. So that was a lot of time and a lot of effort getting to know cast, crew, faces that really weren't pertinent to anything that we were going to see. And now on top of it, you gave me a captain who I really liked over 2 episodes, and now she's not going to be in the show.
Right.
Now, there's a chance we're going to see her in flashbacks. I would expect that this show is going to feature a lot of flashbacks from what we already saw. So there's the possibility of that. One, Sonia Green Martin, or Sonia Martin Green, whatever her name is. Sonequa, sorry. Mm-hmm. She does an admirable job. Her work on Walking Dead was with a much bigger ensemble where she didn't play a major part. And this, she is the star. And not only that, but they've come up with an interesting way to give us a different version of a character that we've seen before, but has never been done this way before. So it appears that she's human, raised by Vulcans, and grows up the majority of her life that way. Mm-hmm. So So you have this kind of Vulcan mentality, which we're used to seeing on these shows, but now being portrayed by somebody who is human,
who's struggling.
Yes, and so that's going to add some great drama to it. Visually, didn't have any problems with most of it. I thought visually it looked fairly cool, except for I am so on board with you with the Klingon thing, with the heavy prosthetics. What kept going through my mind was this looks as bad as the first season of Angel and those horrible kabuki vampires. It just looked horrifically bad. In one of the early scenes, I didn't bother to go rewind it because of the way I had to view it. They do a side shot coming around with the Klingons, and you see his teeth, like the side of his teeth. And it almost looked to me, now this just could have been me being judgmental. Maybe it wasn't there and I put it there. But it just looked like horrible prosthetic, like in his mouth. So not only does he have all the prosthetic crap on his face that he's got to try to evoke, which Star Wars, Star Trek have done for years. But on top of it, it almost looked like they took an upgraded version of crappy vampire teeth that you would have got at Halloween, shoved those in their face. So now I've got to emote through all this crap and talk through a pile of plastic mush in my face that's going like this the entire time.
I am 99% positive that they had different teeth for when they were speaking Klingon and you had the subtitles for than they did when there was like 5 seconds of him actually speaking English to the captain through the communicator, and he's speaking, and he had to be able to speak. Sure. You had to be able to understand what he's saying, not just crappy Klingon that you can't understand anyway. That's fine. They had to be different teeth because the sounds that he was making were different with those teeth than the other ones, and it was awful.
Some of the elements you get some original classic elements. Some of the sounds in the background are the sounds that you would have heard in all the other shows, and that was kind of a nostalgic feeling in the back that was really nice. Doug Jones, who plays the overly alien character in it, you'll know as Abe Sapien from the Hellboy movies, as well as being a character actor on the Buffy stuff as some of their more interesting bad guys, portrays this tall, alien-esque science officer.
Is he really that tall? Because that was tall.
He is tall and I believe absurdly thin, but I don't believe he is that tall, so I don't know if... I don't think he's probably on stilts because moving around like that. Because a lot of times, if you notice, he's cut. So he could be on top of something.
Yeah, they do that a lot. They do it with Tom Cruise, as a matter of fact, a lot. They put him on.
He's only like 5'6"
I know. They put him on blocks.
So overall, I'm definitely going to try and watch again. We're going to go into much more depth about this. This should have been probably an entire episode.
Yeah, you're right.
So we'll talk about it more next time. And by that time, though, we will get to see, I believe, the first episode, which is actually about what the series is going to be about.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it.
Yeah, I want to talk about that, and you watched The Good Doctor, and I watched that. I like to talk about that a little bit, and some other things.
We got plenty to talk about for the next couple of months, it appears. So check us back. We are GeekStorm. We are located and filmed in the heart of downtown Kokomo on Geek Street. Don't forget the Kokomo Con is coming up Saturday, October 14th.
Where do you get tickets for that for the Kokomo Con?
You get those at Comics Cube.
Oh my goodness.
You also got First Friday coming up. It's going to be an exciting time where we'll have a huge costume contest in all of downtown Kokomo.
That's nice.
I'm Sean Hilton. This is Mike Harrison. Be groovy, everybody.